The Tale of the Scribe and the Two Books. In the sun-scorched streets of ancient Medina, where the call to prayer echoed from the mosque and caravans stirred the desert dust, there lived a seeker named Khalid. By day, he traded spices and cloth. By night, he devoted himself wholly to the words delivered by Muhammad, the prophet, whom the faithful revered as the final scribe of Allah's perfect and unerring revelation. Khalid had memorized long passages of the Quran and believed with burning conviction that the one true God was supreme, just, and incapable of mistake, unchanging and flawless. Just as the Bible had described the God of Abraham centuries earlier in Malachi 3:6 and Hebrews 13:8, Allah makes no errors. Khalid often whispered to himself while tracing the Arabic script by lamplight, "His word must stand forever." Yet as months passed, certain verses began to trouble his restless mind like thorns in the sand. One evening, Khalid opened the Quran to Surah 10, verse 94. So if you are in doubt about that which we have revealed to you, then ask those who have been reading the scripture before you. The scripture before clearly meant the Torah and the gospel held by the Jews and Christians. In Surah 5, verse 47, Allah commanded, "Let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed therein." And in 568, he urged the people of the book to uphold the Torah, the gospel, and what had been revealed to Muhammad. These passages treated the earlier books as reliable guides, even directing the Prophet Muhammad himself to consult them for confirmation. If doubt arose, Khalid paused, rubbing his eyes. Why would the perfect scribe send his final messenger to check with previous writings if those writings could not be trusted? The confusion deepened when Khalid encountered the accusations of corruption. Surah 2:79 warned, "Woe to those who write the book with their own hands, then say, 'This is from Allah.'" While Surah 4:46 and 5:13 spoke of Jews distorting words with their tongues and altering scriptures from their places. Many scholars called this Tarif, the claim that Jews and Christians had twisted their holy books long before Muhammad's time. Khalid felt a knot tighten in his chest. If the Bible was so corrupted, why did Allah repeatedly point Muhammad and his followers back to it as a source of truth? He began comparing the two books side by side under the flickering oil lamp. The differences struck like lightning. The Bible told of Jesus' crucifixion, death, and triumphant resurrection, events at the very heart of Christian faith, described powerfully in Mark 15 and John 19:20. Yet the Quran in Surah 4, verse 127, declared they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but it appeared to them so. The gospel proclaimed Jesus as the Son of God, beloved and divine, while the Quran rejected this in Surah 9:30 as a grave error. Even the lineage of promise differed. Genesis followed it through Isaac, the child of miracle. Yet the Quran placed greater weight on Ishmael. Page after page, the second revelation seemed to rewrite the first. Khalid's discomfort grew when he noticed the Quran contradicting its own pages. Surah 29 described the earth created first, then the heavens, while Surah 79:27-30 reversed the order, raising the heavens before spreading the earth. Early verses spoke gently of no compulsion in religion. Yet later, Medina verses commanded fighting the unbelievers and the people of the book until they submitted and paid the jizya. Surah even introduced the doctrine of abrogation, explaining that Allah could replace one verse with another, as though the perfect revelation required ongoing edits. That night, exhausted and tormented, Khalid fell into a deep dream. He stood in a vast, starlit chamber where Muhammad the prophet sat at a great writing desk, quill poised above parchment. Behind him loomed the figure of the eternal scribe, majestic yet strangely silent. "O prophet," Khalid pleaded in the dream, "if Allah is perfect in justice and never errs, why did the first book, the Bible, require such correction? Why instruct you, the final messenger, to verify new truths by consulting books
is now declared corrupted and unreliable. Why send a second book that clashes so sharply with the first on the crucifixion, the sonship of Jesus, the order of creation, and so much more? And why does even this final revelation contain shifts and contradictions within itself? Muhammad's image looked up, his face calm but his eyes offering no answer. The quill trembled in his hand. The eternal scribe remained motionless, as if the questions had exposed an uncomfortable silence. A perfect God, Khalid pressed his voice, echoing, would not need drafts, revisions, or replacements. He would protect his words from corruption and speak with flawless consistency, from beginning to end. Part 2, to be continued.